Okay, here's the situation. My dad was backing out of the garage door, or going into the garage door came down, hit the spoiler, and knocked the spoiler right out. Now, the spoiler has these clips in them, and these clips are bolted on to the tailgate. Now, when I turn it over, they are inserted in. Now, this is all one unit plastic housing, and they are inserted into these little grooves here. Now, I can tell by the clips that these clips were molded into these grooves with this molding, and the impression that this make indicated that this was molded onto the clip. So in order for these to get these clips back onto the molding, it seems like I need to heat that up and melt it and remold those clips back on. Now, the reason I can tell that these clips were molded on, as you can see, this clip was a little bit turned while these are welded onto the clips. So a bit turned, and you can see that when it was in there, it was pressed in there. For some reason, there was some kind of heat applied or something, and they were pressed in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attempt to heat this up and repress those in there. I don't know how good they're going to hold, but we're going to see if we can repair this, because I think they're about $500 to replace. So the first thing I did, just so you know, is you take all the inside panels out. And there's a great YouTube video about taking all the inside panels out of a Prius hatch. Very easy. They just pop right out, and there they are sitting in a pile there. And that exposes these nuts here. And I took that one out. These are kind of difficult to take out too, because I think those are kind of pressed nuts. They're pressed in there a little bit. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of those. So I'm going to remove those. Well, first I'm going to do an experiment and attempt trying to melt that molding back in. So stay tuned. So I'm going to attempt to heat this clip up with the torch and insert it into this. But I'm going to heat this up. All right, let's give it a shot. It's pressing in there. We'll see if it stays. I don't know. So I pressed it in, and it looks like it pressed all the way in. I'm letting it cool a little bit. It's pretty cool right now, but it is in there tight. It's not even budging. So we've successfully put this clip back into there, as I suspected. Now I made sure that it was the same clip that came out, because these little inserts, it has to press into that insert. So success, we've done it. Let's go do it with some other ones. Now, in order to take these clips off, I have to put some pliers to hold that, and then take my socket wrench and go underneath. So the center one's going to be kind of challenging. Let's see. So you got your wrench in there, and then we have to hold this. And they're in there pretty tight, but see, they'll come out. Okay, let's try it with another one. Make sure they're lined up here. Put some heat on it. Heat these little babies up. There's 5 of these little bastards. And I've already put 2 of them on successfully. I did one while you weren't watching, just to make sure that this process works. So I'm pretty confident that these things are going to melt in back into the slots. We'll see. So let's get them good and hot. Get that baby in there. Alright, and like I said, it just pushes right down in there. Push and then hold it for a second. Maybe give it a little jiggle just to get in place. Yeah, that's as far as it'll go into the slot. I only have one chance with this. So. And there. Down. Get it down in the slot. Give it a little jiggle. So we have all 5 of them. That's solid. This one's solid. That one was a little jiggly. Oh, that one's still hot. That's the one I did about 4 minutes ago. Still hot. So it's solid. That's a good indication. That's solid. And then I had to melt that one and I won't dare touch it. Okay, next thing to do is we need to just take these nuts off. So we'll remove these nuts. Oops. So we can put it back on the car. So we also have these slots here, which these little tabs here. So you can just kind of pop them out. Screwdriver. Try not to break them. And they slide. I guess they're going to slide back into these slots before we... And there's one on each side. So this one looks like it broke, but we're going to take it out and try to slip it back in there anyways. Okay, now, so we have all the bolts back on. We have the 2 clips in place on the ends, and it's just time to slide it back into place there. Now the end clips should clip into place and hold it together. So we get all the bolts showing on the other side, and we just put the nuts back in. Yeah. Start them all up. Tighten them in. Them all nice and snug. And there it is. And there you have it. It's back on. Now all we need to do is put the inside panels back in, and I'll leave a link in the description to the YouTube video that shows you how to do that, because it would be good for you to watch that. Okay, so that's how I fixed the spoiler on my Prius.